I think the sunflower, when I looked at it, I've always loved sunflowers, and that's actually what drew me to the title of the book. But I'd always seen the sunflower as a real symbol of life in the way that the sunflower follows the sun. And the fact that they were on the German grave and that connection between life and death and that continuance of life from death.
In the book, one day Simon is walking towards the work camp where he works, and he sees a graveyard full of headstones, and there are sunflowers growing on them. And as he's going through this camp where death is every day, then he thinks about remembrance and how if he died, would a sunflower grow? How would he be remembered? Would he have this memorial of a bright yellow flower?
It's a true story. It's Simon Wiesenthal's memoir of an experience that he had when he was called to an SS Nazi soldier's bedside who was dying.
He is faced with a Nazi SS man asking him to forgive him for the atrocities he's committed, and Wiesenthal stays silent.
And so the reader's left with, what does that silence mean? You know, did he give forgiveness? Did he feel like he couldn't give forgiveness? Or was it an act of compassion that he walked away and said nothing?
I could not and I would not forgive him because it wouldn't be my place to forgive him. I had no right to speak for the dead, and I couldn't kill their last voice on this earth by speaking for them.
I think tonight we are painting the sunflowers for the people who have died in the Holocaust. That's what I want to be painting the sunflowers for, because they deserve the remembrance.
I like your ideas, that's all. And the bathroom smells the same.
Oh.
Yay! Isn't it pretty? Super cool.
I don't know. I went into reading this book with a really solid definition of forgiveness, and it really, really shifted when I was done with it. I'm still not completely sure.
The idea of forgiveness in a junior high school classroom is really big. And then I started thinking, well, what would it be like if we involved families in this? And what could families do with the idea of reflecting on forgiveness? And then that came the book salons.
I would forgive him, sure, but you don't know that you'd forgive him. I mean, you didn't experience what he experienced, so you can't really say, yeah, I forgive you, because, I mean, you have no experience of what he went through.
If you don't have the ability to forgive, aren't you keeping yourself as a victim?
I think if you say you should forgive, I mean, it's fine in a day-to-day life situation, but are there things that are unforgivable? And if you forgive, is that really the just consequence of those people's action to receive your forgiveness? Or is the just consequence to have to live forever with the horrible thing that has been done?
But in a way, you have to move on, because you don't honor the dead by ceasing to live. Although you don't forget, you have to move on. It's like you have an obligation to life.
Well, forgiveness differs from person to person, because one person's definition of forgiveness might not be the same as the other person, so it depends on maybe your type of personality, what the situation is, who you're forgiving. And it puzzles me a lot now. If I'm going to forgive someone, I always go through, okay, what would Simon have done? Would I forgive? Would I not forgive? Why would I forgive? Is this person sincere? And my whole definition of forgiveness has definitely changed.
The Answer Charter School is the oldest charter school in Idaho. We're an expeditionary learning inquiry-based school, which means that we take one year-long expedition and go in great depth with it. And then through inquiry, we teach kids to critically think and to problem solve and to be leaders in the world. In my class, I have 7th and 8th grade combined. They're just typical teenage kids. And typical to Boise, we don't have a lot of diversity. I think we're considered the most conservative state in the nation. And conservative, but I also believe open-minded. Very few Jews in Boise. And it's one of the reasons we chose to do the Holocaust, because it's never been something that's been in the forefront of our community. The idea of forgiveness was profound for the kids. And when they were asked to define what forgiveness meant to them, they struggled. And then, we brought in a Holocaust survivor who said absolutely no. That had reached its limits of forgiveness. There was no way to forgive the Holocaust. And the kids immediately said, yes, there are limits to forgiveness. And then we brought in a fabulous documentary about Eva Kor. And Eva Kor was this amazing woman who said, yes, I forgive because I have to forgive. And it's a gift to myself as much as it is to the perpetrators. And so then the kids decided, oh, well, maybe there aren't limits to forgiveness. So I was really amazed at what you guys had to say. And it's really very much up to you where you want to start and where you want to end the Socratic seminar. Socrates believed it was about the dialogue, not about the debate. And I couldn't think of a better topic for a Socratic seminar, because who are we to say whether we should forgive or not forgive?
What are the limits of forgiveness? I think the limits are only time and experience. Like, if you experienced something like Simon did, then you're not going to want to forgive him unless you have enough time.
In the Socratic seminars, there is an inner circle and an outer circle. Only the inner circle can speak, but they also have to, change out with the outer circle so everyone gets to say. And the outer circle just takes notes.
My religion says everything's forgivable, but I think there's some things that are just not forgivable at all.
I think, well, like, say the Nazi shoots your parents or something like that, you can forgive that. It's going to take a very long time to heal. You have to heal, and forgiveness will be healing that even more.
You have a strong opinion on everything's forgivable? Yeah. Would you forgive Hitler?
What?
Could you forgive Hitler?
That was a really tough topic.
I don't know. I can't forgive and I can't forget in that case, but I don't know. I haven't been affected by this that much, so
yeah,
I can't say.
I think
I probably would have been able to forgive Hitler in his severe mental state of craziness, but I don't think I could forgive what he did.
I could never forgive Hitler because he was just a cruel man.
I agree with what Molly said a lot.
Answer's a really unique community in that we are a community, and the kids get that from a very, very early age. And you choose your friends, and you do nice things for your friends. But community, you do all of those things because they are your community. And so for us to take on social issues like we were, social injustice issues and the us against the them issues that occurred so much during the Holocaust, it was a real natural fit for us to take a look at that. So now we have the opportunity, you guys, to take it from our classrooms to our families, Answer community, out into the Boise community. This is our opportunity to look at what would it look like if an entire community was questioning their definition of forgiveness. And I'm not sure really how it evolved, but eventually it came to, why don't we paint a mural? And then I think it just grew, and I think that's when the Idaho Human Rights Commission got real excited about that.
We are the builder and operator of the Idaho Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial. Anne Frank is really a powerful symbol for her peers. And our work is really to empower young people to reflect on their human rights values, reflect on their worldview, and to apply that worldview to the civic movement that they see around them. We moved into our current building a little over a year ago. One of the first things we thought, we need a youth human rights art mural. We need this building to come to life. So Diane approached us and said, you know, she had this program in mind, and we said, perfect, we love it. And Ward Hooper, a really well-lauded local artist, stepped in as the supervising artist.
Imagine what might be on that wall that could get that message across in 5 seconds or less. Anybody have any things that come to their mind? Yes.
I'd like to see something kind of reflecting the negative impact that the sunflower had, as well as contrasting like the positive impact.
The sunflower is the symbol in a basic way for the book, but I would encourage you to go beyond the sunflower and go for a bigger statement.
And it was really interesting because Ward kept pushing them away from having sunflowers in the design, and they kept like holding on, you know.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, and that's a great idea. And you've even...
I personally always wanted the sunflower to be in it because that's what really inspired us to do this. Because the book was like very deeply into it, and the sunflower was connected to show like the symbolism of remembrance.
You guys are steering the ship here. Make no bones about it. This is your project. We're going to put a committee together, but every single one of you will participate in this project.
The art committee looked at all the designs and picked out the main ideas that came through in each piece of paper. We would put them together and show the class, and they'd be like, well, I don't like that, or I don't like this, or I like that. And then we narrowed it down to like 4 murals, I think. And we had the class vote, and we decided on the one we liked. But it was a huge process. It took like 3 months. Oy.
And then we started painting, and they painted in groups of 4 or 5.
Looks good. Excellent. They're doing. I want it kind of mixy, mushy, like you're being artsy.
The painting was really fun because after like 6 months of reading this really depressing book and everyone like, well, forgiveness is a big issue kind of thing, it was really nice to just let go on the mural.
I think it was a chance to kind of do this mindless motion while talking to your friends. You could just talk to your friends, paint, you know, get all that out. It's kind of a release.
When you're doing the mural, it's like you're in touch with it. It feels like forgiveness is just right there, and you're helping to create it so that other people can see, you know, how important it is. And when people are driving by and they honk their horns and they yell, you know, that's right or whatever, you just feel so good because it's getting the message across.
It's going to stay there forever, so our work and our thoughts and everything is going to be permanently plastered to the side of the building, and I'm excited about it.
All right, you think you're done? I think at first they didn't really understand how big of an impact it would have. Once you get out here on site, you start painting and you start seeing the volume of cars that drive by. You start getting honks, you start getting comments from people. Then you start to realize, hey, I'm doing something that is really important.
It's not black and white, it's multiple shades and multiple grays and color schemes because so many people have so many different perspectives, it can't be defined.
I hope people think about this. This is what we want. We want people to define their own definition of forgiveness, because forgiveness is not the same for everyone else. It's not saying it's okay. It's personal.
The mural itself is a very visible challenge to our community to reflect on their deepest values around rights and responsibilities.
And I hope it's appreciated so that they know that we put a lot of hard work into this and we're putting it out here to honor the people of the Holocaust.
And that people will be more willing to forgive, because bad stuff happens all the time and we need to learn from it but not let it be us all the time.
Teenagers need a voice in their community, and teenagers, they get so fired up about social injustice, but they don't have any place to release that energy in a positive way. And so I think what this project has done is it's given them value and voice in the community. And they feel that. They feel very important, and they feel very proud of the fact that thousands and thousands of people daily will see that mural